Doctors, what made you say how the hell are they still alive? Veterinarian here. An approximately 6-week-old puppy was presented that had been crushed by a car and thrown away in a dumpster, left to pass. A good Samaritan found her and brought her into a clinic for euthanasia. It was a Saturday afternoon. He was about to close up shop for the weekend. And now this. She was a little fuzzy black ball, about 1.5 pounds, with soulful eyes, abdomen pulled open, left leg femur fracture, hip fracture and pelvic fractures. Had been this way long enough that her quadriceps had contracted and the leg was hyperextended, bent backwards at the knee. He took the puppy in, looked at his nurses and said, "I'm not starting my weekend like this. I'll stitch up her belly and figure out what to do with her Monday." Monday rolls around and he brings her to the main clinic so that the vet student can practice fracture fixation before the pup is euthanized. Vet student, who was actually me, said in a tearful voice, "If I fix her properly, do I still have to put her to sleep?" Answer was no, but if you do that you have to find her a home. Her name is Bits. So I anesthetize her, prep the left leg planning for an IM pin, start making the initial skin incision, and she doesn't bleed. Pretty sure that was a bad sign, so I chose to wake her up from anesthesia, give a blood transfusion and try again the next day. In the interim I do diagnostics and this little munchkin has hookworms, roundworms, whipworms, and more stuff. I looked at her and asked her, "How are you still here? Seriously?" She just looked at me and did little puppy grunts. Next day her crit was holding steady, so I moved forward with the surgery plan. Single IM pin in the femur, and I had to manually flex the knee to rip through the scar tissue and return it to normal position. She recovers well as I hold her in my arms. I put her in the cage and set off down the hall to see some walk-in rooms in the meantime. 2 hours later I checked up on her. Vitals great, in good spirits, but that damn leg is sitting backwards at the knee again. In puzzlement, I ask my mentor what I should do. He tells me to flex the knee manually again. I asked if that was safe, to sedate her again so soon. He told me to do it without sedation. Cue horrified, shocked look on my face. He sees my reaction, then tells me matter of fact that you're gonna have to do that every 2 hours for the next 2 days or that scar tissue will just come back. I go back to the pup, love on her and apologize ahead of time for the pain I'm about to inflict. She screamed in the most heartbreaking way. I was expecting her to bite me, but instead, she just licked my hand afterwards. I looked at her and said, "You have got a home, little lady. You're coming with me tonight." 2 days later and I've got the scar tissue thing under control but flummoxed about how to keep the leg from flipping backwards. Both back legs are broken, down to one working hip and one working knee on different sides. She couldn't use either back leg. She was dragging herself along using front legs when I took her outside. The cutest little Franken puppy. Spunky as hell, little Yippy barks looking at the squirrels in my yard. A week later and pelvic fractures show and her abdomen is bloated. I'm in my yard at midnight giving her mineral oil enemas and promising God if he will help her poop I will build her a doggy wheelchair. I don't care if she never walks again. 3 weeks later she tore up her collar, and 2 days later is somehow running in the same yard attempting to catch squirrels. 3 months later she is catching them, and anything else she can find. She was my bestest friend for 8 years. She went on to survive 3 water moccasin bites, an attack by a boxer, and liver and kidney failure. I euthanized her at 8 years old. After her last stay in the hospital for kidneys, she came out and her old skeletal injuries were causing her pain. The day she laid on the porch and watched a squirrel in front of her without trying to chase him, she looked at me with such sadness I knew this was that quality of life moment. I took her to Popeyes and got chicken, let her eat until she was blown up like a tick, then to the clinic. I held her in my arms and said goodbye, my snake-killing, squirrel-chasing miracle of a best friend. You're a trooper, I love you forever.